lope this horse off. Good evening, this is Tarron with Twist of Mesquite Performance Horses. We're on a mission to create a world-class 2-year-old program that specializes in the rein cow horse. Today, we're doing a review with Whiz. We're going over 4 steps that we are using to improve her for this week. This week is her 11th week in our program, so we're going to go over those steps as we go through the process today. We're going to get this horse ready to go, get her brushed off and get her saddled. You know, we kind of wanted to show more of the process a little bit, go in depth a little bit about what we're doing. One thing, neat little deal we do, you might have just noticed it, but when I'm saddling these colts, I'll probably have something somewhere about a month on them when I've gotten around over all, around their hind end quite a bit. But I'll start getting to where I move this colt over so that whatever side I'm working on, I can stay safe. So if I'm working on this left side here, and anything happens, this horse blows up or anything, I have plenty of room to get out of the way. And so the same thing, I want to work on this right side. I push this colt all the way over here. I rub her, this horse a bit more. I'll rub her a bit more to where she knows I'm not asking her to move her feet. And I'll make sure that I can get her to move over, and it keeps me safe. But then it also gets that horse starting to be getting in the mode of listening to me before we get to the ride. We'll catch up with you here in a second when we get her all saddled and get in the arena. All right, so we're horseback. The first thing I want to do when I get on this horse is flex this horse. I want to remind this horse that first time I get on them, we just need them to keep their feet still. It starts getting them thinking about being with us, and starts the process off, starts the ride off in a soft, good manner. And so the first thing we're working on is step number 1, what we're working on for this week. And we had started working on this last week. The process went well with her. You know, she learned the exercise well. You know, with everything, all the exercises with her, it's been more of a, you know, she learns the thing really well, and then it's just building her confidence and showing her how to do the thing in a controlled manner, rather than in a quick paced situation to where, you know, she's just putting too much effort in. She's got her wheels turning too fast, and she's trying to do what you're asking her to do too quickly, rather than in a slower, more controlled manner. And so this first step we're working on, you know, after we get on her and we're ready, is just yielding those hindquarters and letting her come out into that bend. And so, as I said, she learned it pretty well, and so we had been progressing her to where we are right here, to where I let her do everything pretty slow. She's doing it when I ask her to, so she's yielding those hindquarters when I ask her. She's giving me a good yield, and then she's getting soft when I let her back into this bend here. She's kind of throwing her head a little bit, where that's just a little bit of anxiousness there. And so what we're going to work on today is just building on it here, to where I want her to get soft to me and come around this turn, come around this bend in a relaxed manner. See, she's lowering her head here. She's coming around here pretty nice, and all of the other work we've been doing to help her walk a good circle is showing where she's kind of following her nose. She's following her nose pretty well, and she's walking a pretty good circle, rather than bending out over here and cutting in over here and all of that. So where I'm wanting to take this exercise, I want to be able to do this at all 3 gaits. So I want to be able to do it at a walk, trot, and a canter, and I want it to be pretty controlled. I want it to be controlled at all 3 gaits. I like how soft she is right there. She's waiting on me. She's paying attention. She's looking back, or she's rating back herself, and she's thinking about when I'm going to ask her to slow down. She's not taking her head from me or being heavy or soft or heavy in my hands. You know, she's coming around here in a soft manner. So all of this exercise is helping us to continue on getting this horse broke through her body. It's helping get this softness in her circle here, in this bend here. It's helping her learn how to follow her nose and be soft in that circle. And it's helping her rate up and down through the gaits, to where she'll get up into that lope and come back down to this walk in a pretty controlled manner. See how low her head is right here? You know, that's an indication that a lower head is an indication of a horse relaxing and getting soft through their body. Because if a horse is stiff and anxious, worried, a lot of times that head will raise naturally, just because their potential, you know, fight or flight is raised up. Their instinct to go get to run off and go do something, you know, they're more worried, and so they'll raise that head. But when the horse starts lowering his head, it's showing that horse relaxing, calming down. So where I'm wanting to take this exercise is just continue this exercise for the rest of the week. I want to just to reinforce, you know, it helps me right here where I can work on this circle, because this will be important with some other exercises we have coming up. It's helping me get this horse a lot more broke. She's riding between my legs a lot more, and like I said, it just helps us gives her more opportunity to rate up and down through the different gaits, and so wanting to help her just get more relaxed as she goes through that. Second step we're working on is post and circle, and so I want to be able to lope this horse. I want to be able to come up here to this fence and lope this horse off. I want to be able to lope this horse off, come up here and circle. I want to be at a trot. When I'm making this circle, I want her to follow her nose, and I want her to start thinking about, I want her to start getting off of my feet. And so if she cuts in, maybe she drops her shoulders, she comes into this circle a little bit, I'm gonna put my inside leg on her a little bit, and if she leaks out to the outside, I'm gonna put a little bit of outside leg on her. I want her to start thinking about, she's got a little attitude about her today. Which all of this stuff, all these exercises are good. Get these horses' feet moving, gets all that little bit of like attitude out of them if they present it. And so the same on this side, I want to be able to follow her nose and come around this circle. And then go back. I want to lope a straight line across here. I want to look to see where I'm taking this horse. Come up here and trot this circle. When I started teaching this, this exercise, she was wandering all around over here. When we did get to this fence line, I think this left side was a lot worse than the right. What I mean, so she wasn't following her nose very well. She was just running her body all over. You know, she might drop her shoulder over here, cut this circle short, then she might lean over here and start wandering off over here. And you know, she's still, you know, we're still looking to improve it, but she's doing a whole lot better. And so where I'm taking her, what I'm working on right now is I want to get up here to this fence line. Wherever she leans, if she leans to the right, say, I'm going to take her to the left and I'm going to circle her. I might do 3 or 4 times. And then we'll go to this other fence line. So she comes up here. I want her to come up straight, but if she leans one way or the other, I'm going to take her the opposite way where she leaned, and we're going to come in here and circle her. You know, we're kind of starting to work on, like I said, I want her to follow her nose. I want her to stay between my legs. And so we'll do a lot of this. It's gonna help get these horses more broke. I'm thinking about following her nose in this turn. We're guiding them around. You know, you think about this is a pretty tight turn. It's a challenge for these young horses to keep themselves. You know, you want them to kind of be up underneath themselves to a point. You want them to have some bend, some softness, to where, you know, they're following their nose, and it is quite a challenge. And so we're just going to ignore that little attitude right there. If, you know, say one of these colts goes and would break into a, you know, where they actually start bucking, you know, I would pull that horse around and do a 1 rein stop and be able to get that horse back under control and start again. But little horse, when a horse is just throwing a little fit, kicking up those hind legs, you know, we just keep them. I want to be cognizant of it, and I want to keep working. You know, I'm not going to get off this horse. I'm not going to reward her for that behavior. You know, we want her to, you know, say a horse does have some attitude and throwing a fit about something, kicking up with those back feet. Then we want to keep going until that horse gets back controlled, where that horse is thinking in a good frame of mind, and that horse is in a good frame of mind, and then we'll quit that horse. But we don't quit them when they're in the middle of maybe a little tantrum or throwing a little fit. That's where we are with that exercise. Exercise 2 for today. And so next time I work this horse, I'm going to be cognizant of that little tantrum that she threw, and I want to make sure that that's not an issue going forward, to where we can get her back up into that lope, and she gets off into that lope, and it doesn't become an issue, or doesn't become, maybe that's a sign of a hole we missed or something like that. So we want to be cognizant of any of those little things that come up, and we want to revisit it and make sure, maybe, hey, was that just a fluke deal? Was that just a little bit of attitude this horse had? or was there something that horse doesn't understand in the mechanics of what we're asking them to do? You know, was there a body part that they're not sure how to maneuver, or they're confused about? And so we'll revisit that going forward. So step number 3, thing that we're working on for this week, now that I've teach this horse how to vertically collect at a standstill, we've taught her how to back up off of that, you know, we'll collect her and then ask her to stop and ask her to back up. Then, you know, now that we've done all that and we've taught her how to collect at a walk, walking down the fence, I want to make sure, you know, this is what we're going to start doing now. Now that I've taught her how to vertically collect at a walk, I want to start bringing her around in this circle and just putting my feet on her, kind of driving her up into her face a little bit. I pick up and I put my feet in her, and I want her to drive up into her face a little bit, to where, so if I'll say this, when I release, I want her to be soft in my hands. I don't want her to jerk the reins out of my hands. She's got a little bit of attitude here, but we're not going to quit her, not going to let go here of the pressure until she's soft in my hands and she walks around here. This is going to help our circles. So the 2 exercises we just worked on, where we take them back into, you know, so our yield and bend and our posts and circle. So we'll go down to the fence and circle there. What we're doing here is going to help that, to where she's following her nose, she's getting soft in my hands, and she's staying in this circle. And so she did pretty good starting to learn this. It wasn't anything, you know, any big confusing things for her. You know, it's just because we're already starting to work on this circle, and then we just added this vertical flexion here, and it's a pretty good, nice next step. And so what I'm wanting to work on today in this exercise is I want to be cognizant. Is she following her nose around this circle? Is she staying between my legs? And then when I pick up on these reins, I want her to keep moving forward. I don't want her to slow down. And so she knows what I'm asking her to do based on that I'm squeezing her forward. And so she knows I'm wanting her to continue moving forward. I don't want her to stop. And so all of these parts, we just keep working on them. And she's getting better here. She's following her nose better. She's relaxing. And so where I'm wanting to take this exercise, I want to be able to do this at a walk and a trot. Going forward, I want her to be a bit more relaxed about it. You know, she's got a little bit of attitude about it. She's kind of throwing her head a little bit. And that's kind of been just present during the whole ride. And so I might spend a bit more time on these exercises tomorrow, to where we spend a little bit more time. I give her ample time to catch her breath during the exercises, where she's in a little better frame of mind, and that'll help this exercise a lot. But I like right here where she's relaxing, she's following her nose, which there's quite a few parts that she's got to figure out here. You know, she's got to figure out, she's at her head is at a little bit of an angle. She's got to be soft to that. She's got to continue following her nose, so she's got to get off of either leg. She's got to stay soft on my inside leg, and she has to guide off of my outside leg. And so we continue walking around this circle to get a pretty square, get a pretty round, nice circle. And it just takes time. You know, it takes these horses figuring out the different pressure points, you know, and then you figuring out that horse, you want to make sure that you're getting off, you're releasing that pressure when she does what you want her to do. And then you understand, you know, as a trainer, as a owner, as a rider, how sensitive your horse is. And so you understand where to get that horse, how much pressure to add. You know, we want to ride these horses off of the lightest amount of pressure possible. But we'll also be as firm as we need to be to get the point across. See, this side going to the right, she's not as good on, and so I'd like to get this a little better before we quit her. There. So, step number 4 that we're working on with Whiz is going to be the beginning of our side passing. And so the way we go about starting this process, I would say, or you know, this is a step we put on this horse right before we then teach them how to side pass. And I'll walk down here and come back and show you about this. So this is step number 4 we're working on this week, and this is yielding the hindquarters on the fence. And so I want to walk down here along this fence line, and I want to pick up on my reins, take her into the fence, and put my leg back and have her disengage that hip until we come straight with the fence line here. Once we're here, I want her to rest. I want her to take a breath. I want to get off of her, you know, to where I'm not asking anything of her. Just let her relax. Let her sit here a second. Then we go back again. And so I might use this whole arena to where I might use this whole arena and just work on one side. And I want to work on just one side at a time, you know, depending on how well that horse is doing. But I might do, you know, 5 times on this side going this way, and then 5 times going the other way, and then just kind of see where you're at and see how that horse is doing. We did 2 times going that way, but for the sake of the camera, And so going this other way, I just want to tip her nose in. I want to make sure that when she disengages that hip, that she's close enough to the fence to where she doesn't just bend her front end through that turn. I want her to actually move that hip over and get straight. And so we'll go again in the same direction, go in the same direction. It's all right. She gets a little concerned about it. We just want to make sure that we quit her sitting straight right here, and that she gets off my feet and she disengages that hind end. So when I taught her this exercise, she did really well. We've gotten a little bit of improvement from it. She's done really well. You know, right now I just want to reinforce what we're working on. I want to be cognizant of, is she moving that front end, or is she truly moving that hip over and disengaging that hip. And so what I'm working on right now, like I said, is just making sure that she understands what I'm wanting her to do. There, that was good right there. She kept her front end pretty still, and she swung that hip around to get straight right here, and I let her relax. This is a really good exercise to teach at the end of the lesson, to where it's a pretty slow exercise. It doesn't take a whole lot of energy from them. They can start relaxing, calming down, and especially when you have a lot of these breaks in there. And so going forward, how I want to progress this, I just want to make sure that she does this really well on both sides, because we need her to understand this exercise so that we can add the next element to it, which then will be side passing down this fence off of our feet. And so a quick little tip or thing that I do at the end of these exercises, especially at the end of my work, especially if a horse has been kind of stiff here, I want to just walk them around and remind them about getting soft off my feet, to where this is the last thing that this horse thinks about when we go and put her up, that we ended in a soft, controlled manner. This horse caught her breath, and she relaxes, to where we're able to come out here tomorrow, and I'd like her to have this same state of mind once we come back out here with her tomorrow. So I want to start soft, and I want to end soft. Every exercise, every work, I want to start soft and end soft. So that's our review of the 4 steps we took Whiz through for this week. And overall, it all went well. Had a little bit of attitude that she showed us, but we worked through it. and we ended in a good place here. I like her mentality. She's relaxed. She's still alert, but she's relaxed, and we ended in a good spot. So that's our update for today. We'll catch you on the next one.